Captain Olivia Wright stared at the holographic display, her face pale in its blue glow. The red dots representing the Drachnid fleet moved closer to Earth with each passing minute. She had been awake for 36 hours straight, and the weight of humanity's survival pressed down on her shoulders. "How many ships do we have left?" she asked, her voice steady despite the fear churning in her stomach. Admiral George Patterson sighed. 17 combat-ready vessels. Maybe 23 if we rush repairs on the damaged ones. He ran a hand through his gray hair. Against 300 Drachnid warships. "We're finished, Olivia." The command center of Earth Defense Headquarters fell silent. Dozens of officers pretended to work at their stations, but everyone had heard the Admiral's words. Olivia closed her eyes for a moment. Then she looked up at the largest display, which showed a massive incomplete vessel in Earth's orbital shipyard. "What about the Defiance?" she asked. Patterson followed her gaze and frowned. "The Supercarrier. It's nowhere near ready. Construction is at 70% at best. No weapons systems installed. Minimal life support. The quantum fold drive hasn't even been tested. But it has engines," Olivia said. "And it has a hull. And it's big." "What are you suggesting, Captain?" Patterson asked, his eyes narrowing. "We launch it. Now. Today." A young lieutenant nearby dropped his tablet with a clatter. The Admiral stared at Olivia as if she had gone mad. "That's impossible," he said. "Even if we could power it up, the Defiance has no weapons. It would be a floating coffin." Olivia stepped closer to the holographic display and pointed at the incomplete Supercarrier. "Look at the size of it, sir. 3 kilometers of reinforced hull plating. Internal fabrication bays designed to build fighter craft. Power systems meant to sustain a city in space." She took a deep breath. "We don't need it to be a perfect warship. We just need it to be unexpected." The Admiral looked unconvinced, but there was a flicker of interest in his tired eyes. "What exactly are you proposing?" "Give me 72 hours and a skeleton crew. Let me take the Defiance out to face the Drachnid scout fleet before their main armada arrives." Olivia's voice grew stronger as she spoke. "The Drachnids have never seen anything like our Supercarrier design. If we can surprise them, maybe we can buy Earth some time." Patterson was quiet for a long moment. Then he sighed again. "This is insanity, right? But since all our sane options lead to extinction." He nodded slowly. "You have your 72 hours. Assemble your crew." 6 hours later, Olivia stood in a conference room with the 5 people she had personally selected for this suicide mission. "Thank you all for coming," she said, looking at each of them in turn. "I won't lie to you. What we're about to try has never been done before, and our chances of survival are slim." Lieutenant Commander Jack Summers leaned forward, his eyes bright with excitement despite the situation. "You want to turn a construction project into a warship in 3 days. I'm in. The quantum physics involved in weaponizing an untested fold drive is theoretically impossible," said Chief Science Officer Kate Miller, pushing her glasses up. "But I've been working on some ideas that might change that." Security Chief Damon Clark stood with his arms crossed. "The ship's not secure. No internal defense systems, minimal sensors. We'll be flying blind and defenseless." He shrugged. "Sounds like fun." "I can fly anything," said Navigation Officer Lisa Brown with quiet confidence, "even something that's not supposed to fly yet." Communications Specialist Sam Harrison was the last to speak. "We've been misinterpreting their signals. I'm sure of it. The Drachnid language structure is complex, but there's something off about their attack patterns." He looked up. "I need to get closer to understand what they're really saying." Olivia nodded at each of them. "Then it's settled. We launch in 70 hours. Get some sleep, pack light, and meet at Orbital Shuttle Bay 7 at 500 tomorrow." She allowed herself a small smile. "We're about to make history, one way or another." As they filed out of the room, Olivia turned to look at Earth through the window. Blue, beautiful, and possibly in its final days. She made a silent promise to the billions of people below. This would not be the end of humanity's story. It would be a new beginning. Jack Summers whistled as he entered the main engineering bay of the UES Defiance. Half-finished walls exposed bundles of cables and pipes. Construction equipment lay abandoned where workers had left it upon receiving evacuation orders. The enormous room echoed with their footsteps. "This is worse than I expected," Kate Miller said, running her hand along an incomplete control panel. "This is better than I hoped," Jack replied with a grin. He pointed to the massive sphere at the center of the bay, surrounded by scaffolding. "That's the quantum fold drive, the heart of the ship, and it looks like they got further along with it than the rest of the systems." Captain Wright and the others gathered around the glowing core. "Can we make it work?" she asked. "Make it work? Sure. It'll power up." Jack walked around the drive, examining connections. "But using it to jump through space without tearing the ship apart? That's another question." Kate pulled out her tablet and began running calculations. "Based on current configurations, I estimate an 86.7% chance of catastrophic failure if we attempt a fold jump." "I like those odds," Jack said. "You would," Kate muttered. Olivia turned to Lisa Brown. "What about navigation? Can we even steer this thing?" Lisa was already seated at one of the few completed console stations. Primary control systems are online, but most of the secondary systems are missing. She typed rapidly. "No fine maneuvering thrusters. Limited sensor array. It's like trying to drive a truck with a broken steering wheel and no headlights." "I can work with that," she added with quiet confidence. Sam Harrison entered the bay, looking troubled. "Captain, I've been checking the communication systems. Someone has tampered with the main array." "Recent tampering." Damon Clark's posture changed instantly. The security chief moved toward Sam. "Show me," he said. As they left, Olivia turned back to Jack and Kate. "We have 65 hours before launch. What can we do to make this ship battle-ready in that time?" Jack scratched his chin. "We can't install weapons systems from scratch. That would take months." But his eyes lit up. The internal fabrication bays were designed to build fighter craft. They have mass drivers to move materials. "Mass drivers?" Olivia asked. "Basically giant electromagnetic launchers," Kate explained. "They accelerate objects to high velocities." Jack was now pacing excitedly. "We could repurpose them. Convert them to launch. Something. Anything heavy. Turn the fabrication bays into makeshift cannons." "Ammunition?" Olivia asked. "Mining drones," Lisa said, looking up from her console. "The shipyard has hundreds of them. They're basically just engines, sensors, and reinforced frames. If we load them into the mass drivers, we could launch them like missiles," Jack finished. "It's crude, but it might work." Olivia nodded. "Do it." Hours later, Damon Clark returned with Sam. Their faces were grim. "We have a problem," Damon said. "The communication array wasn't just tampered with. It was sabotage. Someone tried to make sure we couldn't talk to Earth once we launched. Or receive transmissions from the Drachnids," Sam added. "I fixed what I could, but we're missing key components." "Sabotage." Olivia's voice was tight. "That suggests we have an enemy on board. Or someone doesn't want this mission to succeed," Kate said quietly. "Increase security," Olivia ordered. "Full ID checks at all access points. Nobody gets on or off this ship without my authorization." Damon nodded. "Already done, Captain." Over the next 2 days, the skeleton crew worked without rest. Jack and his engineering team converted the fabrication bays into weapon systems. Kate recalibrated the quantum fold drive, trying to reduce the chances of disaster. Lisa programmed emergency maneuvers into the limited navigation system. Sam rebuilt the communication array with spare parts, while Damon's security teams patrolled the vast, half-finished corridors of the Supercarrier. On the final day, Admiral Patterson visited the ship. He walked with Olivia through the engineering bay, looking at their improvised modifications. "This is madness," he said, but there was reluctant admiration in his voice. "Yes, sir," Olivia agreed, "but it's our kind of madness." "The Drachnid scout fleet will reach your position in 18 hours, Patterson said. "The main armada follows 12 hours behind them." He put his hand on her shoulder. "Good luck, Captain Wright." As the Admiral left, Olivia looked around at her crew, all working with desperate energy. "Prepare for launch," she ordered. "We leave in 6 hours." The launch of the UES Defiance was neither smooth nor quiet. The massive ship groaned as it detached from the orbital shipyard. Unfinished sections of the hull creaked under the strain. Warning lights flashed across every operational console. Structural integrity at 62%. Kate Miller reported from her station. "That's better than I expected, actually." Captain Wright stood at the center of the makeshift bridge. Most of the stations were incomplete, with exposed wiring and missing panels. "Lisa, take us out slowly." 1/4 thrust. Lisa Brown's hands moved over her navigation console. 1/4 thrust. Aye. Course set to intercept the Drachnid scout fleet. The Supercarrier moved like a wounded animal, sluggish and unstable. Behind them, Earth grew smaller against the blackness of space. "Jack, how are our weapons?" Olivia asked through the comm system. "Ready as they'll ever be," Jack's voice replied from the engineering deck. "We've loaded 47 mining drones into the mass drivers. Each one weighs about 2 tons. If we hit something, they'll feel it." "And if we miss?" Damon Clark asked. "Then we waste a very expensive mining drone," Jack said. Sam Harrison looked up from his communications station. "Captain, I'm picking up transmissions from the Drachnid fleet. There's something strange about them." "Explain," Olivia said. Sam frowned, adjusting his headset. "The patterns don't match standard attack formations, and there are signals being sent between their ships that don't follow military protocols. It's almost like..." He paused. "It's almost like they're arguing with each other." "Arguing? Aliens don't argue before an invasion," Damon said. "These ones might," Sam replied. "I need more data." 12 hours later, the first Drachnid scout ships appeared on their sensors. 3 sleek, dark vessels moving in formation. "They've spotted us," Kate said. "Sensor scans are hitting our hull." "They're surprised," Sam added, listening to the alien communications. "They don't recognize our ship configuration." "Good," Olivia said. "Let's surprise them some more. Jack, prepare to fire the first mass driver." "Ready, Captain," Jack replied from engineering. Targeting the lead vessel. Fire. The entire ship shuddered as the makeshift weapon launched its first mining drone. The heavy metal object shot toward the Drachnid scout ship at tremendous speed. Impact in 5 seconds. Kate counted down. 4, 3, 2. The mining drone missed the alien ship by less than 50 meters. "Recalibrating targeting systems," Jack said, his voice tight with frustration. The Drachnid ships were moving now, breaking formation and accelerating toward the Defiance. "They're returning fire," Kate shouted as energy beams lanced from the alien vessels. The Supercarrier rocked as the beams struck its unfinished hull. "Damage to decks 4 through 7, Damon reported. "No casualties, but we can't take many more hits like that." "Lisa, evasive maneuvers," Olivia ordered. "With respect, Captain, this ship doesn't do evasive," Lisa replied, hands flying over her console nonetheless. "But I'll try something." The Defiance lurched to port, its massive bulk swinging around more quickly than should have been possible. Another volley of Drachnid weapons fire missed them by meters. "Fire all remaining mass drivers," Olivia commanded. "All of them?" Jack asked. "All of them. Now." The ship vibrated as dozens of mining drones launched in rapid succession. Most missed their targets, but 3 struck one of the Drachnid vessels, tearing through its hull. "Direct hit," Kate exclaimed. The damaged Drachnid ship lost control, spinning toward one of its companions. They narrowly avoided collision. "They're regrouping," Lisa warned. "And more are coming." On the sensor display, 5 additional Drachnid vessels appeared, moving rapidly toward their position. "We've made our point," Olivia said. "Now we need to draw them away from Earth." Lisa set course for the asteroid belt. Maximum speed. "The drive system can't handle maximum speed," Jack warned over the comm. "It'll have to," Olivia replied. "Lisa, go." Lisa pushed the engines beyond their safe limits. The Defiance shot forward, with the Drachnid fleet in pursuit. "Captain," Kate suddenly shouted. "Energy spike in the quantum fold drive." "Jack, what's happening?" Olivia demanded. "The drive is activating on its own," Jack replied, panic in his voice. "Something's triggered an automatic sequence. Shut it down." "I can't." The bridge filled with blinding white light. The Defiance seemed to stretch and compress at the same time. And then, with a silent flash, the Supercarrier and 3 nearby Drachnid ships vanished from Earth's solar system. Silence filled the bridge of the Defiance. Emergency lights cast red shadows across the faces of the crew. Captain Wright was the first to recover, pushing herself up from the floor where the violent fold jump had thrown her. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos. Kate Miller checked her console, which flickered with damage. "Quantum fold drive is offline. Power systems at 30%. And..." She paused, staring at the sensor readings. "Captain, I don't know where we are." Lisa Brown looked up from her navigation station. "None of the star patterns match our charts. We're completely off the map." "Sam, can you contact Earth?" Olivia asked. Sam Harrison shook his head, adjusting his damaged headset. "No response on any frequency. We're either too far away or something's blocking our signals." "What about the Drachnid ships?" Damon Clark asked, checking weapon systems. 3 of them were caught in the fold field with us, Kate confirmed. "They're adrift about 10 kilometers off our port side. Minimal power signatures. They appear to be damaged." Olivia considered this information. "Damon, prepare boarding teams. Full combat gear." "We're going to board alien warships?" Damon asked, eyebrows raised. "They may have star charts that can tell us where we are," Olivia replied. "And I want to know more about who we're fighting." 6 hours later, 3 shuttles approached the largest of the damaged Drachnid vessels. Damon led the main boarding party, with Jack Summers accompanying to assess alien technology. Cutting through the outer hull now, Damon reported over the comm link to the Defiance. Atmosphere readings show breathable air inside. Removing helmets. Olivia and the bridge crew listened as the boarding team made their way through the alien ship. Then Damon's voice came again, filled with surprise. "Captain, you need to see this. These aren't warriors. These are civilians. Families." "Families," Olivia repeated. "Send visual." The main screen flickered to life, showing Damon's helmet camera feed. The interior of the Drachnid ship was not the military vessel they had expected. Living quarters lined the corridors. The aliens themselves were tall, with iridescent scaled skin and 4 arms. Many were injured. Some were children. "They need medical assistance," Damon said. "Some are in critical condition." Olivia made her decision quickly. "Bring their wounded to our medical bay. Tell Dr. Puddle to prepare for alien physiology." "Captain," Sam interrupted, "I'm receiving a transmission from the Drachnid vessel. It's trying to communicate with us." "Put it through." The screen changed to show a Drachnid with darker scales and ornate markings on its face. It spoke in a clicking, musical language. "I can't understand it," Olivia said. "I'm running it through our translation matrix," Sam replied. "It'll be rough, but..." The alien's words became understandable, though stilted. "I am Sub-Commander Korvax of the Drachnid Exodus Fleet. We not attack. We flee. Greater danger follows." Olivia stepped closer to the screen. "I am Captain Olivia Wright of Earth. Why did your fleet approach our planet with weapons ready?" "No choice," Korvax replied. "The Nexus Collective hunts us. Nowhere safe. Your world. Last hope." Over the next few hours, as Drachnid wounded were brought aboard the Defiance, the truth emerged. The Drachnid civilization was not an invading force but refugees, fleeing from a cybernetic hive mind known as the Nexus Collective. Their diplomatic signals had been misinterpreted as threats by Earth's defense systems. In the engineering bay, Jack examined Drachnid technology with growing excitement. "Captain, their propulsion systems are compatible with ours. Like, suspiciously compatible." "What do you mean?" Olivia asked. "I mean the connection ports, power ratings, even some of the coding language. It's as if they were designed to work with human technology." Jack looked up from the alien device he was studying. "It's almost like our technologies share a common origin." Kate Miller ran comparative analyses on her tablet. "He's right. The quantum signatures in their drive cores match theoretical models I developed years ago. This can't be coincidence." Meanwhile, in the medical bay, Dr. Patel made an equally startling discovery. "Captain, their DNA structure has similarities to ours. Not enough to suggest direct relation. But, well, I'd say we had a common ancestor somewhere in the distant past." Olivia looked at Sub-Commander Korvax, who was helping tend to his people's wounded. "We need to get back to Earth. The Nexus Collective will follow your fleet there." Korvax nodded his scaled head solemnly. "Together, perhaps. Alone, no hope." Kate Miller stared at the equations floating in the holographic display. She had been working for 20 hours straight, fueled by coffee and the urgency of their situation. Jack Summers worked beside her, connecting Drachnid technology to the Defiance's systems. "This shouldn't be possible," Kate said, watching as the alien device integrated perfectly with the human quantum fold drive. "And yet it works," Jack replied, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Their resonance technology amplifies our fold field by a factor of 10. Kate adjusted her glasses. "If I'm reading these numbers correctly, we could create a disruption wave that would affect the Nexus Collective's hive mind communication." "A weapon?" Jack asked. "More like a massive jamming signal," Kate explained. "The Nexus relies on constant communication between all units. If we interrupt that, we break the hive mind," Jack finished. "Brilliant." On the bridge, Captain Wright and Sub-Commander Korvax reviewed star charts from both vessels. The scaled alien pointed to a cluster of stars. "Nexus territory begins here," Korvax said, his translator making his voice sound metallic, "growing larger each cycle. Many worlds consumed. And Earth is here." Olivia pointed to a spot on the opposite side of the map. "We need to get back before they do." "Fold jump damage, not possible," Korvax replied. "Maybe not with just your technology or just ours," Olivia said. "But what about both together?" Korvax's head tilted. A gesture they had learned indicated interest. "Combined technologies, never attempted." Lisa Brown joined them at the map. "I've been studying your navigation systems," she told Korvax. "They're more precise than ours for long-range jumps. If we integrate them with our fold drive, we might make it back in one piece," Olivia finished. Damon Clark entered the bridge, escorting 3 Drachnid engineers. They moved cautiously, their 4 arms held close to their bodies in what the humans now recognized as a gesture of respect. "These are Korvax's best technical experts," Damon explained. "They've agreed to help with the integration." In the communication center, Sam Harrison worked alongside Drachnid specialists, studying intercepted Nexus transmissions. "It's all code," Sam said, rubbing his tired eyes. "But there are patterns." A female Drachnid named Ilara, who served as their communications expert, pointed to a repeating sequence. "This signal. Location marker. Nexus scouts." Sam enhanced the signal, his eyes widening. "Captain," he called over the comms system, "the Nexus has already sent scouts to the Sol system. They detected the energy signature from our quantum fold incident." Olivia's face hardened. "How much time do we have?" "Based on these transmission timestamps," Sam replied, "they arrived shortly after we disappeared." The next 2 days were a blur of activity. Human and Drachnid crews worked side by side, combining their technologies in ways neither species had imagined possible. The Defiance transformed into something new, a hybrid vessel unlike anything seen before. Jack supervised the integration of drachnid resonance crystals into the quantum fold drive core. When this powers up, it'll generate an energy signature visible across half the galaxy, he warned. Then we'll only get one shot at this, Olivia replied. Kate ran final simulations on her tablet. The disruption wave will affect any Nexus units within range of our jump. It should temporarily disable their hive mind connection. How temporarily? Damon asked. Minutes. Maybe an hour if we're lucky, Kate said. Enough time to send a warning to Earth. In what had once been a cargo bay, Korvax addressed the combined human and drachnid crews. His translator conveyed his words to the humans. Our peoples, separated by stars, now united by common enemy. The Nexus Collective consumes all in path. For generations my people fled. No more running now. Olivia stepped forward to stand beside him. Earth doesn't know the truth yet. They still think your people are the enemy. Our mission is to return and change that before it's too late. Later, alone in her quarters, Olivia recorded what might be her final log entry. We're about to attempt something never done before. A hybrid quantum fold jump through Nexus territory, with a ship that's half human, half drachnid technology. If we succeed, we might save 2 civilizations. If we fail, she paused. At least we tried. Her comm unit chimed. Captain, Lisa's voice came through. Navigation is ready. We can jump on your command. Olivia took a deep breath. On my way. The bridge of the Defiance hummed with energy as the combined human and drachnid crew prepared for the fold jump. Captain Wright sat in the command chair, watching as status reports came in from throughout the ship. Quantum fold drive at full power, Jack reported from engineering. Drachnid resonance crystals are stable and synchronized. Navigation systems aligned. Lisa added, her fingers dancing across her console. Jump coordinates locked on the outer edge of the Sol system. Olivia looked to Sub-Commander Korvax, who stood beside her. Are your people ready? Ready, Korvax confirmed. All drachnids secured in safe areas. This jump will be rough, Kate warned from her science station. The combined technologies are untested. Structural integrity will be under extreme stress. Olivia nodded. All hands, secure for jump. She took a deep breath and pressed the comm button. This is the captain. We are about to attempt a fold jump back to Earth using our combined technologies. Our mission is to warn Earth about the true threat and stop the fighting between our people. Whatever happens next, it has been my honor to serve with all of you, human and drachnid alike. She turned to Lisa. Initiate jump. Lisa activated the sequence. The ship began to vibrate. The lights flickered. On the main screen, the stars seemed to stretch and bend. Fold field expanding, Kate reported. Resonance wave building. Hull integrity holding at 70%, Damon said. The vibration increased. Warning lights flashed across every console. Entering fold space in 3, 2, 1. Lisa counted down. The universe outside the ship disappeared, replaced by swirling colors and strange patterns. The Defiance shuddered violently as it moved through dimensions it was never designed to navigate. Power fluctuations in the main drive, Jack shouted over the comm. Compensating with auxiliary systems, Kate replied, working furiously at her console. Nexus signals detected ahead, Sam announced. They're in our path. Korvax moved to Sam's station. Show me. On the sensor display, dark shapes moved through the fold space ahead of them. Nexus ships, somehow operating in the space between dimensions. They've detected us, Sam said. They're moving to intercept. Can we avoid them? Olivia asked Lisa. Lisa shook her head. Not without losing our lock on the Sol system. We'd be lost in fold space. Then we go through them, Olivia decided. Damon, are any of our weapons operational? The mass drivers are gone, Damon replied. But the drachnids have retrofitted some of their energy weapons to our power grid. They're online but untested. Target the lead Nexus ship and fire when ready. Damon activated the weapon system. Beams of blue-green energy shot from the Defiance, striking the first Nexus vessel. It shuddered and spun away, trailing darkness like smoke. Direct hit, Damon reported, but more incoming. The resonance wave, Kate said suddenly. We can release it now. It might disrupt their coordination. Do it, Olivia ordered. Kate and Jack worked in tandem, human and Drachnid engineers feeding commands to their hybrid systems. The ship's core pulsed with light. Resonance wave activated, Kate announced. A visible ripple spread outward from the Defiance, catching the Nexus ships in its wake. Their formation immediately broke apart, ships tumbling aimlessly through fold space. It worked, Sam exclaimed. Their communication network is disrupted. Exit from fold space in 30 seconds, Lisa reported. Hang on. This won't be gentle. The ship bucked and rolled as it approached the exit point. Panels broke free from walls. Conduits burst with sparks. The bridge crew held tight to their stations. Emerging in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lisa counted. With a final violent shudder, the Defiance tore its way back into normal space. The view screen cleared to show stars. Familiar stars. We made it, Kate said softly, checking her readings. We're at the edge of the Sol system. Olivia felt a moment of relief, but it was short-lived. As the sensors came back online, they revealed a scene of chaos ahead. Multiple energy signatures, Sam reported grimly. Weapons fire. It's Earth forces engaging both Drachnid and Nexus ships. They're fighting a two-front war, Damon said. And losing. Olivia stood. Sam, open all communication channels. Broadcast on every frequency, in both human and Drachnid languages. Ready, Captain. Olivia stepped forward. This is Captain Olivia Wright of the UES Defiance to all Earth and Drachnid vessels. Cease fire on each other immediately. The true enemy is the Nexus Collective. I repeat, the Drachnids are not our enemy. They are refugees seeking sanctuary. The Nexus is the threat to us all. They watched the battle on the screen, hoping their message would be heard before it was too late. Silence followed Captain Wright's transmission. On the main screen, the battle continued unabated. Earth vessels firing upon both Drachnid and Nexus ships, confusion reigning across the battlefield. They're not listening, Damon said grimly. Or they can't hear us, Sam added, working frantically at his console. There's massive communication interference. The Nexus is jamming all frequencies. Olivia turned to Kate and Jack. The resonance wave, can we modify it to cut through the jamming? Kate shook her head. Not as a directed signal. We'd need to broadcast it across the entire system. Like a pulse? Jack asked, understanding dawning on his face. Yes, Kate replied. But that would require channeling all power through the quantum fold drive while we're in normal space. We've never tested that. The energy release could tear the ship apart. Korvac stepped forward. My people face extinction. Earth faces same fate. Worth the risk. Olivia looked around the bridge at her crew. Humans and Drachnids working side by side, their differences forgotten in the face of a common enemy. She made her decision. Prepare the resonance pulse. Target all Nexus ships and communication frequencies. Jack's voice came over the comm. Captain, to generate a pulse that powerful, we'd need to position the Defiance at the center of the battle. We'd be hit from all sides. Then that's where we'll go, Olivia replied. Lisa, set course for the heart of the conflict. Maximum speed. The damaged Supercarrier lurched forward, its hybrid engines pushing beyond safe limits. The battlefield grew larger on their screen. Dozens of Earth vessels, the remaining Drachnid refugee ships, and the dark, angular forms of the Nexus fleet. Incoming transmission, Sam announced suddenly. It's Admiral Patterson. The Admiral's face appeared on screen, lined with exhaustion and confusion. Captain Wright, is that really you? We thought you were lost. No time to explain fully, Admiral, Olivia replied. The Drachnids are refugees fleeing the Nexus Collective. They came to Earth seeking sanctuary, not conquest. The Nexus is the real threat, a cybernetic hive mind that consumes all civilizations in its path. Patterson's expression changed from confusion to shock. We've been fighting the wrong enemy. Yes, sir. And now we need your help. We've developed a weapon that can disrupt the Nexus communication network, but we need to get to the center of the battle to deploy it. The Admiral nodded. I'll order all Earth vessels to cease fire on the Drachnids and provide you cover. But hurry, right? We're losing ships by the minute. As the Defiance pushed deeper into the conflict zone, Earth vessels began to shift their fire, targeting only the Nexus ships. Some Drachnid vessels, seeing this change, joined them, forming an impromptu allied fleet. We're at the optimal position, Lisa announced. Nexus reinforcements incoming, Damon warned. Massive ships, much larger than the Scouts. Now or never, Olivia said. Kate, Jack, initiate the resonance pulse. In engineering, Jack connected the final circuits between the Drachnid crystals and the quantum fold drive. Ready on your mark, Captain. Kate's voice was steady. This will overload all systems. We'll lose power, shields, everything. Understood, Olivia replied. Do it. Jack activated the sequence. The ship's lights dimmed as power was diverted to the drive core. The Defiance began to vibrate, then shake violently. Structural integrity failing, Damon reported as panels fell from the ceiling. Resonance wave building, Kate called out. 80%, 90%. The main screen showed Nexus ships converging on their position, sensing the threat. 100%, Kate shouted. Pulse now. A blinding light erupted from the Defiance, expanding outward in a perfect sphere of energy. As it washed over the Nexus ships, they faltered and drifted. The coordinated attack broke apart into chaos. But the price was high. The Defiance's systems overloaded one after another. Fires broke out across multiple decks. The bridge plunged into darkness. Emergency power only, Damon reported. Hull breaches on decks 3 through 12. It worked, Sam said, looking at his partially functioning console. The Nexus ships are disorganized. They're retreating. Olivia smiled despite the destruction around her. Send one final message to Earth. Tell them everything we've learned about the Nexus, and tell them about our new allies. 3 months later, a memorial service was held in orbit above Earth. The combined fleets of humanity and the Drachnid refugees, now officially granted sanctuary, gathered to honor the crew of the UES Defiance, presumed lost in their final brave act. Admiral Patterson was midway through his speech when alarms sounded across all vessels. A fold space anomaly had appeared nearby, small but stable. From it emerged a single shuttlecraft, bearing the UES insignia. Inside were Captain Olivia Wright, Jack Summers, and a handful of human and Drachnid crew members, tired, injured, but very much alive. They had one last surprise for humanity: the coordinates to habitable worlds beyond Nexus territory, where both species could find refuge and build a future together.